The Great Gama, Ghulam Mohammed Bakhsh Butt, the 22nd of May 1878, the 23rd of May 1960, better known by the ring name The Great Gama, was an Indian-born wrestler from the British Raj who then moved to Lahore, Pakistan post-partition, where he lived for the rest of his days. Born in Amritsar village Jabowal, then in the Punjab province of British India, in 1878, he was awarded the Indian version of the World Heavyweight Championship on the 15th of October 1910, and went on to defeat grappling champions across the world. Undefeated in a career spanning more than 52 years, he is considered one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. Early life. Ghulam Mohammed Bakhsh Butt was born in the city of Amritsar village Jabowal into a Kashmiri Muslim family of wrestlers in the Punjab region of northern India. He came from a wrestling family which was known to produce world-class wrestlers. After the death of his father Muhammad Aziz Bakhsh when he was 6, Gama was put under the care of his maternal grandfather Nun Pahalwan. Following his death, Gama was taken care of by his uncle Ida, another wrestler, who also began training Gama in wrestling. He was first noticed at the age of 10, in 1888, when entered a strongman competition held in Jodhpur, which included men grilling exercises such as squats. The contest was attended by more than 400 wrestlers and Gama was among the last 15 and was named the winner by the Maharaja of Jodhpur due to his young age. Gama was subsequently taken into training by the Maharaja of Desha. Training and diet. Gama's daily training consisted of grappling with 40 of his fellow wrestlers in the Akhada court. He did a minimum of 5,000 Baithaks, squats, average speed 100-200 squats per minute, and 3,000 dans, push-ups, average speed 50-100 push-ups per minute, in a day, and even sometimes more within 30 to 45 minutes each by wearing a donut-shaped wrestling apparatus called a hasli of 1 quintal. Gama's daily diet was 2 gallons of milk, 1.5 pounds of crushed almond paste made into a tonic drink, fruit juice, 6 desi chickens, a half liter of ghee, 6 pounds of butter, 3 buckets of seasonal fruits, 2 desi muttons and other ingredients to promote good digestion and recovery. Career. First encounter with Rahim Bakhsh Sultaniwala. Fame came to Gama in 1895, at the age of 17 when he challenged then Indian wrestling champion, middle-aged Rahim Bakhsh Sultaniwala, another ethnic Kashmiri wrestler from Gujranwala, now in Punjab, Pakistan. At about 7 feet tall, with a very impressive win-loss record, Rahim was expected to easily defeat the 5 feet 7 inches Gama. Rahim's only drawback was his age, as he was much older than Gama, and near the end of his career, the bout continued for hours and eventually ended in a draw. The contest with Rahim was the turning point in Gama's career. After that, he was looked upon as the next contender for the Indian Wrestling Championship. In the first bout Gama remained defensive, but in the second bout, Gama went on the offensive. Despite severe bleeding from his nose and ears, he managed to deal out a great deal of damage to Rahim Bakhsh. By 1910, Gama had defeated all the prominent Indian wrestlers who faced him except the champion, Rahim Bakhsh Sultaniwala. At this time, he focused his attention on the rest of the world. Accompanied by his younger brother Imam Bakhsh, Gama sailed to England to compete with the Western wrestlers but could not gain instant entry because of his lower height. Tournament in London. In London, Gama issued a challenge that he could throw any 3 wrestlers in 30 minutes of any weight class. This announcement, however, was seen as a bluff by the wrestlers and their wrestling promoter R.B. Benjamin. For a long time no one came forward to accept the challenge. To break the ice, Gama presented another challenge to specific heavyweight wrestlers. He challenged Stanislaus Bisko and Frank Gotch. Either he would beat them or pay them the prize money and go home. The first professional wrestler to take his challenge was the American Benjamin Roller. In the bout, Gama pinned Roller in 1 minute 40 seconds the first time, and in 9 minutes 10 seconds the other. On the second day, he defeated 12 wrestlers and thus gained entry to official tournament. Match with Stanislaus Bisko. He was pitted against world champion Stanislaus Bisko and the date of bout was set as the 10th of September 1910. Zbyszko was then regarded among the premier wrestlers in the world, and he would then take on the mammoth challenge of India's feared Great Gama, an undefeated champion who had been unsuccessful in his attempts to lure Frank Gotch into a match. And so, on the 10th of September, 1910, Zbyszko faced the Great Gama in the finals of the John Bull World Championships in London. The match was £250 in prize money and the John Bull belt. Within a minute, Zbyszko was taken down and remained in that position for the remaining 2 hours and 35 minutes of the match. There were a few brief moments when Zbyszko would get up, but he just ended back down in his previous position, crafting a defensive strategy of hugging the mat in order to nullify Great Gama's greatest strengths. Zbyszko wrestled the Indian legend to a draw after nearly 3 hours of grappling, though Zbyszko's lack of tenacity angered many of the fans in attendance. Nevertheless, Zbyszko still became one of the few wrestlers to ever meet the Great Gama without going down in defeat. The two men were set to face each other again on the 17th of September, 1910. On that date, Zbyszko failed to show up and Gama was announced the winner by default. He was awarded the prize in the John Bull belt. Receiving this belt entitled Gama to be called Rustam Zamana or World Champion. Bouts against American and European champions. During this tour, Gama defeated some of the most respected grapplers in the world. Doc Benjamin Roller of the United States, Maurice Deriers of Switzerland, Johann Lem, the European champion of Switzerland, and Jesse Peterson, world champion from Sweden. In the match against Roller, Gama threw Doc 13 times in the 15-minute match. Gama now issued a challenge to the rest of those who laid claim to the world champion's title, including Japanese judo champion Taro Miyake, George Hackenschmidt of Russia and Frank Gotch of the United States. Each declined his invitation to enter the ring to face him. At one point, to face some type of competition, Gama offered to fight 20 English wrestlers, one after another. He announced that he would defeat all of them or pay out prize money, but still no one would take up his challenge. Final encounter with Rahim Bakash Sultaniwala. Shortly after his return from England, Gama faced Rahim Bakash Sultaniwala in Allahabad. This bout eventually ended the long struggle between the two pillars of Indian wrestling of that time in favor of Gama, and he won the title of Rustami Hind or Champion of India. Later in his life, when asked about who was his strongest opponent, Gama replied, Rahim Bakash Sultaniwala. Rematch with Zbyszko. After beating Rahim Bakash Sultaniwala, Gama faced Pandit Biddu, who was one of the best wrestlers in India of that time, 1916, and beat him. In 1922, during a visit to India, the Prince of Wales presented Gama with a silver mace. Gama did not have any opponents until 1927, when it was announced that Gama and Zbyszko would face each other again. They met in Patiala in January 1928. Entering the bout, Zbyszko showed a strong build of body and muscle, and Gama, it was reported, looked much thinner than usual. However, he managed to overpower the former easily and won the bout inside a minute, winning the Indian version of the World Wrestling Championship. Following the bout, Zbyszko praised him, calling him a tiger. At 48 years old, he was now known as the Great Wrestler of India. Fight with Balram Hiraman Singh Yadav. After defeating Zbyszko, Gama beat Jesse Peterson in February 1929. The bout lasted only 1.5 minutes. This was the last bout that Gama fought during his career. In the 1940s, he was invited by the Nizam of Hyderabad and defeated all his fighters. The Nizam then sent him to face the wrestler Balram Hiraman Singh Yadav, who was never defeated in his life. The fight was very long. Gama was unable to defeat Hiraman and eventually neither wrestler won. Hiraman was one of the toughest wrestlers for Gama to face. After the independence and partition of India in 1947, Gama moved to Pakistan. During the Hindu-Muslim riots that broke out at the time of partition, the Muslim Gama saved hundreds of Hindus from mobs in Lahore. Although Gama did not retire until 1952, he failed to find any other opponents. After his retirement, he trained his nephew Boli Pahalwan, who held the Pakistani Wrestling Championship for almost 20 years. Death. The Great Gama died in Lahore, Pakistan on the 23rd of May 1960 after a period of illness. He was given land by the government, but he still struggled to pay for treatment for his heart and asthma. Therefore, G.D. Birla, an Indian industrialist and wrestling fan, donated Rs 2,000 and a monthly pension of Rs 300, and the government of Pakistan also increased the pension to Gama and supported his medical expenses until his death. Legacy. Bruce Lee was an avid follower of Gama's training routine. Lee read articles about Gama and how he employed his exercises to build his legendary strength for wrestling, and Lee quickly incorporated them into his own routine. The training routines Lee used included the cat stretch, and the squat, known as Bathak, and also known as the deep knee bend. Today, a donut-shaped exercise disc called Hasley weighing 100 kilograms, used by him for squats, is housed at the National Institute of Sports (NIS) Museum at Peshawar, India. It is considered that if we compare today's gym beginners with Gama, then his strength was approximately 100 times of them. Championships and accomplishments. George Tragos Luthes's Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame. Class of 2007 Professional Wrestling Hall of Fame and Museum. Class of 2015.
Please subscribe Wiki Audio YouTube page below. Click notification or bell icon to get future videos uploaded as instant notification, and write your valuable comment, suggestion, feedback to improve in future videos. Check out channel page to get more videos and share this channel to your friends and relatives.